Well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out today for our 28th Annual Teacher of the Year event. A lot of smiling faces out there, and why not? We have wonderful teachers, and it is a wonderful surge of pride that we all get when we're able to honor you today for that magic you make every single day in the classroom. My name is Mark May with the Office of Marketing and Communications. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we get going. The restrooms are through that door where you entered, and then to the left, down the first corridor where you can turn to the left if you need to use the facilities. We're going to have some entertainment in a little bit from the Cathy Middle School Orchestra. They're here in the back and ready to play for you, so we're real excited about that. Before we get going, let me introduce some special guests that are here today. First of all, from our School Board of Trustees, we have our President, Mr. Tony Farina. And you'll hear more from him in just one moment. We have our Secretary, Mr. Marco Suarez. Trustee Sam Salivar Jr. And it's always been a tradition since this occurs in early May, Teacher Appreciation Week, that we also invite school board candidates, those in our community who are running for school board. So let me introduce Mr. Rogelio Alaman II and Aaron Daniel Rivera and Erica de la Garza Lopez. And we appreciate all of you for being willing to step up and help serve our community's children. It's why we are strong as a community. Today is the last day for early voting, and then the voting day is going to be this Saturday, May the 6th. Now, from our executive leadership team, it all starts at the top with our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jay Gonzalez. Associate Superintendent for Instructional Leadership, Bridget V. Assistant Superintendent, Instructional Services, Dr. Rosaba de Hoyos. Assistant Superintendent for District Operations, Alejandra Gonzalez. Assistant Superintendent for Business Operations, Ms. Adele Felix. Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Mr. Todd Miller. And our Director of Fine Arts for McAllen ISD, Ms. Deborah Loya. And now here to give you the official welcome is our School Board President, Mr. Tony Farina.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. How about a round of applause for Mark May? Mark doesn't know the lasting impact that he's had on me professionally. You see, when I was in high school and in college, I always opened up the Monitor newspaper and I looked for the article, Mark May, writing about it. He was either writing about football, baseball, golf, but his specialty piece was boxing. And I don't think I've ever said thank you, Mark, so thank you for inspiring me in that way. You know, that brings me to something that teachers do on a daily basis. Happy National Teacher Appreciation Day. At the Farina household, having a mom that was a teacher, that meant today was Tuesday. And tomorrow will be Wednesday, and it's still National Teacher Appreciation Day. And Thursday is still National Teacher Appreciation Day. You guys do so much. You inspire so many. And at the end of the day, you really don't get it till after we graduate. And it's not something that's understood by every student, by every parent, but it should be. Thank you. Thank you for all the efforts that you put forward, the many different hats you wear. You're a teacher, you're also a nurse, you're a coach, you're a referee, you're an entrepreneur, you're a cheerleader. There's so many different hats. And it goes without saying that you guys leave a lasting impact on every student. As I was thinking about what I was going to say today, it took me back to my senior year at PSJA. And there was a certain algebra teacher by the name of Susan Garcia. I was struggling really, really bad in algebra. And I thought, what is something I can do? Because she doesn't give extra credit. National Teacher Appreciation Day rolled about. And I made her this big card, Lambiscon. But you know what? I didn't realize I didn't need that. I was passing the class, but I thought I was failing it because she was doing her job the right way. So I'm always grateful to all of my previous teachers, to our McAllen ISD staff, to any teacher that we have throughout the world. Thank you. Thank you for the impact that you leave on a daily basis. Thank you for what you do, and we continue to support you each and every step of the way. Enjoy your lunch. You do get more than 25 minutes today, so please chew your food. I believe it's 36 chews on each side, and then you can swallow. So enjoy, and thank you so much. Congratulations.
Please continue enjoying your lunch. If you'll turn your attention up to the screens, we're going to be rolling a video that's kind of a video dedication and tribute to all 30 of our campus teachers of the year. So that'll be playing. That'll be followed by the Cathy Middle School Orchestra. But please enjoy your lunch. Thank you.
We're all teachers of the year at Jackson. We all help each other. Any teacher from any grade can come to another teacher and we help each other, we share materials. Teaching can be hard at times, so when we help each other and we try our best to help a child, it makes it more rewarding. So every teacher at Jackson should be Teacher of the Year.
I've always wanted to be a teacher. In fact, when I was younger, I used to make my younger sibling play school with me. My philosophy of teaching is to create an environment where children are lifelong learners and music appreciators. The lifelong learning doesn't just apply to music, it applies to creating challenges, overcoming challenges, having a hunger for discovery, and pushing their brains to do things that they never thought possible.
One summer, I was inspired when I was volunteering with the Life Skills program at my home district, and that summer was life-changing. It made me realize what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, to continue to advocate and provide assistance and support for students with special needs.
My second grade teacher was a big inspiration for me. She was a lot of a huge emotional and academic support for me in that time. I remember writing in my third grade journal I found a few years back that I wanted to be a teacher, right? So I had kind of already set my mind to becoming a teacher one day. And as I grew older, I became involved in my church. I was a Sunday school teacher and I realized that I really loved working with kids. And so now here I am, serving our community.
The most important thing is to be able to build a relationship with students, because I've noticed that the more that you're able to talk to them or the more they can relate to you, that's when they start working harder. That's when they're like, okay, I'm not doing just this because of grade, I'm doing this because as a class or as a teacher, like I want to feel proud of myself and I want my teacher to feel proud of me as well.
I grew up here all my life. I went to Rayburn Elementary, I went to Morris Middle School, and then I went to McAllen High School. So knowing that my students are now a reflection of that, I can see their potential every day that I walk into the classroom, and I can see where, even after leaving for college, knowing that you have that goal in mind, when I left, I knew that I wanted to come back.
My teaching philosophy is to provide students with the opportunities to be successful in my classroom. My goal is to help them become inquirers so that they find the answers to their own questions and they can become curious of the world around them. Working for McAllen ISD means a lot to me. I'm actually a product of McAllen. I graduated from Memorial High School, and like my teachers, how they provided me with the tools I needed to be ready for the real world, now I get to do the same for the students of Alvarez Elementary.
I decided to become a teacher to make a difference in student lives, not just one life, but many. My philosophy of teaching is to create a safe learning environment. I want students to feel comfortable asking questions, not to be shy, to encourage them to ask questions when they need help.
I take my job very serious, and my philosophy is that every child, no matter what background, no matter where they come from, it doesn't matter who the child is. Every child deserves the highest quality of education that they can possibly get. And it is the responsibility of the teacher to ensure that that form of education is offered to that child. I believe that they all should be held to high standards, regardless of their background, regardless of what they've done in the past, what you've heard about them in the past. It doesn't matter. Once they step foot in my classroom, I know that every child that's in here will receive the best quality education that I can possibly give them.
Originally, I wanted to be a doctor, but after seeing the shows, I realized that it was not for me, seeing the whole bloodshed. So I still wanted to help people, and I had so many wonderful teachers along the way that inspired me, that showed me compassion, that believed in me. So I wanted to go back and I wanted to instill that in our community, in our kids. Being in the classroom, being with the students, it is really a dream come true.
I became a teacher because I enjoy teaching children. The joy that comes from watching a child learn and grow is just so rewarding. And knowing the fact that I could help build a child up is just so amazing. Like using words that could even possibly change their future, as one teacher did mine, is just incredible and just a privilege.
What I think is that everybody needs a chance. So when we do our lessons in the gym, we try to get every kid to try. Okay, I'm not looking for the best athlete. I'm not looking for the one who can make all the shots or hit the ball all the time. Just effort. You know, give me participation, you're gonna be okay. Try, you're gonna be all right.
My philosophy of teaching is based on relationships. I feel that any child will work for you as long as there's love and trust for their teacher. Praising students on a job well done and showing that you believe in them makes all the difference in the world.
My philosophy in teaching is to be able to inspire students, to allow them to grow every day and come to school wanting to learn. I want them to be able to feel comfortable and welcomed in a caring and loving environment so they can grow and learn as much as they can and take it home and apply all their learning outside in the real world.
My passion for teaching started since I was a little girl because both my parents were teachers, educators in Mexican rural communities, and through them I could see firsthand how influential the words and actions of good teachers could be. And that's when I knew I wanted to do the same and become a teacher. My philosophy of teaching is to instill in my students a long-lasting love of learning and to engage them with fun activities and constant motivation.
Since I was a little girl, my mom taught here in McAllen. As a toddler, I would try out all of her lessons beforehand. Watching my mom teach here really brought me into teaching. My philosophy of teaching is that everybody can learn, and as long as you adapt everything for that student to learn, they're going to be successful and they're going to be productive in the community.
My philosophy of teaching is I know that teachers can make a world of a difference. We could inspire the children, they could become risk takers, problem solvers, and eventually be creative thinkers, and they'll be able to take their own learning into their hands.
What made me decide to become a teacher was I was a room mom in Corpus Christi for all of my children, and everybody would always tell me, you're always here, and I just loved being around the students, the children, helping, and so they kind of motivated me and told me, you should go to school to be a teacher, and I sure did. I knew that I always wanted to be. We played as little children. I was always the teacher. And I decided to go to school. My last one started kindergarten.
So it goes back to when I was in high school. My English 4 teacher was so inspiring that after her class, I decided that I wanted to pursue a degree in literature. My philosophy of teaching is that every student has the potential to learn, and that's when we as educators step in and we motivate them and encourage them to continue their education and encourage them to never give up.
I decided to become a teacher because of my aunt Arminda Ramirez. Back as I was a little girl in maybe 2nd grade, I would go and help her every single summer, and I would decorate her classroom with bulletin boards, and at that moment I realized that that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a teacher, and I never looked back, and I never ever regret being a professional. I love what I do. I love my students. I love their success and everything. So to me, being a teacher has been a true blessing in my life.
I think teaching is a calling. People do it because they love it, because it involves a lot of people, communication. It actually takes a village to build a child. I feel like we need to educate the future educators. So I love mentoring student teachers and young band directors.
I was inspired to be a teacher once I went to college and took some sign language classes. I really wanted to work with the deaf community, and McAllen ISD has a regional day school program for the deaf here. So I was able to do that by working here. It gave me the ability to advocate for the students here and be able to teach them.
One of my favorite quotes that I like to send out with all my emails and that I like to use a lot in my classroom is by Aristotle. And when it comes to children, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. And I truly, truly believe that. I feel like if you can't genuinely give children your heart and show them that you genuinely want to help them and care about them, then they won't open themselves up to you.
A lot of teachers say the same thing, but there are so many just amazing teachers here that will go above and beyond for the school and for the kids. Knowing that I was nominated amongst other teachers like that kind of have this shared vision and goal for our campus, it was just a huge honor, and I respect those teachers so much, and I feel grateful and I feel proud that I get to work side by side with those teachers.
My teaching philosophy is one of inclusion for all students. Whether it be the student who is quiet, sitting in the back of the class, to the student who is loud and rowdy and jumping at pep rallies, to a student who is a self-contained special ed student. I believe that all students and all kids have special, unique abilities and characteristics that can make our community special.
My philosophy is to be kind and to help everyone. Give expecting nothing thereof. And the best compliment that I received after I was named Teacher of the Year was from a parent, and said that she enjoyed every day that I was on morning duty because I would greet her son with a smile, because smiles are contagious, and I'm trying to do my part to spread it around.
I think students need structure and routine, and once kids feel that consistency, there are no surprises, especially when it comes to math, because many students suffer from math anxiety. So it's my job to try to reduce that, and I reduce that by consistency, by routine, by being structured, by being organized, and that helps a long way.
My mom is an educator, and I always feel like education kind of landed on my lap. I look back and I think of all the different people that have influenced me up until this point, and I feel like they played a role into how I do things in the classroom. There's really not a pinpoint where I decided yes, this is where I want to become a teacher. It was more of everyone who has played that role in my life has really led me to this point here.
And now to get us started, Dr. Jay Gonzalez became our superintendent in 2016. In that time, the school district has become a state A-rated district 3 times, has won the post-secondary readiness distinction 4 times, and has won all 7 years the School First Award for financial integrity. In fact, last year did it with a perfect score. McAllen ISD was the only school district in the entire state of Texas to accomplish that feat, and they scored an all-time high of 95 on the state testing as well. In 2020, yes. In 2020, he became the Texas Superintendent of the Year. Please welcome our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jay Gonzalez.
Good day, everyone. You guys look wonderful. One more round of applause for the Kathy Orchestra. That is world-class, outstanding performance. Just the level of mastery is unbelievable, and I think that in McAllen ISD, that's our norm, but that's really not the norm for kids of that age. So it says a lot about the fine arts department, says a lot about the expectation we have for our students. I would like to take this opportunity to once again recognize our board. How about one more round of applause for our board members for all that they do as they give time away from their families to make sure that our school district continues to thrive. Very, very proud of our board and everything they do for us. And also a special thank you to the Facilities Maintenance and Operation Department for all that they did over the weekend to get us back running. That storm hit us hard, but whenever you have the amount of synergy that we have across our district, and you specifically with regard to FMO, they're able to make things possible that would most likely be impossible if you don't have that level of teamwork. And also a special thank you to our marketing department, our community information and marketing. Round of applause for this beautiful event. Thank you to the Radisson and their staff for all that they're doing. Just a special time. And this is one of my favorite events because we have an opportunity to celebrate excellence. And I think that the name of the game is if you want to be great, you have to surround yourself with greatness. And today, I feel blessed to be surrounded with greatness. This weekend, I had an opportunity to serve as a statewide judge for the HEB Excellence in Education Awards. So I saw some of the greatest teachers, some of the best educators across the state. Had an opportunity to learn, have an opportunity to observe. And one of my takeaways is that our teachers can compete with anybody, anywhere. Our teachers don't only have the capacity, but have the heart to make it happen. I know that Ms. Lynn out of Fossum talked about the fact that Aristotle said that educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. And in McAllen ISD, we embrace that philosophy wholeheartedly as we teach emotional intelligence like no other district on planet Earth. As we make emotional intelligence and the work of Tal Ben-Shahar and Daniel Goleman a graduation requirement, as students take deep dives on the essence of self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. I know that Mrs. Rocio Torres from Castañeda talked about the fact that regardless of a child's background, regardless of what they've done, regardless of their circumstances, regardless of their socioeconomic status or what people say about them or what mistakes they've made, that when they get into her classroom, that everybody's going to reach their full potential because she puts her heart and soul into it. And what dad, what mom doesn't want that? And that's why we're so blessed. I know Ms. Negrete here from Gonzales, and as a dad, she's my little boy Joshua's teacher, and she was my little girl Samantha's teacher last year. And I can have every mom and dad across the city stand right here, and they're going to tell you if they see their child's teacher in this room identified as a campus teacher of the year, you can't help but feel a sense of pride, because all parents want their children with the best. And that's what we have in this room, the very best, because Mark May said it best. We're a high-performing school district. We've earned an A. And our A is a byproduct of systems and processes. We're not chasing letter grades. We're not trying to master an accountability system. We're executing scientific world-class systems and processes that target every child as an individual. And the byproduct of that is the A. The byproduct of that is a post-secondary readiness distinction. The byproduct of that is success. But that's what makes us so special. I've been in education for 27 years, 25 with this district. And I've grown so much, and I've been so blessed to meet so many wonderful people. But it's events like this that just put wind in my sail and charge me and make me want to be the very best that I can be because I'm surrounded by greatness. It's very difficult to become a teacher of the year in this district. It's very difficult to become a campus teacher of the year in this district. But here very soon, we're going to name our elementary McAllen ISD Teacher of the Year. You're sitting here right now, and the secondary Teacher of the Year is sitting in here right now. The challenge is, when we get to regional, we need to understand that we can compete with anybody, anywhere. We have the systems and processes and the results to back it. I believe with all my heart that the Texas elementary and or secondary Teacher of the Year is in this room. And try to wrap your mind around that. Since 1950, this award's been bestowed upon an educator. Since 1950, in the Rio Grande Valley, 5 teachers have won. 3 of them have come from McAllen ISD. If you think back to Leo Ramirez, was a McAllen High School teacher. He won the state title in 92-93. Dora Noel was a Thick Pensavala teacher. She won in 2008, 2009. And our very own Jennifer Hahn, here recently, was the Elementary Texas Teacher of the Year in 21-22. How about a round of applause for those outstanding educators to compete at that level? To compete at the state level is something special. To win it at the state level is an honor that isn't about an individual, it's about a district. It's about a district that's driven to prove that we can compete with anybody, anywhere. It's about a district that's breaking down barriers and making the impossible possible. It's about a district that says if we have a shortage in the area of commercial pilots, then we're going to create the McAllen ISD aviation program. We have 12 students flying airplanes right now. Almost all of them have done their solo flights. They're flying 60 miles away from McAllen, Texas, landing, taxiing back, taking off again, and landing by themselves. Imagine that. How about a round of applause for the McAllen ISD aviation program? We have school districts from all over the state that are coming down. We had Gonzales ISD here recently. We have Rio Grande City that's going to come down. We have some in the Dallas Metroplex that are interested in coming down to see this, and that's what we want. We want to replicate this. We want to replicate, and this is just one example of the many things that we're doing. But I believe with all my heart that the Texas Teacher of the Year is in this room right now, and I say that because we have not only the data to prove it, but we also have the capacity to prove that our children can compete with anybody, anywhere. You heard the Kathy Orchestra. That's a representation of the greatness that you'll see across this district. We want to make sure that we remember the words of our coach from Hendricks, Mr. Ricardo Diaz. He says, all I want my kids to do is come in and try. They don't have to be the all-star. Just try. Give me your best. And when you have somebody that believes in you that way, man, you're going to give them your very best. And when you have, as a dad, you know you're sending your kid to a district and a campus where they're going to educate not only the mind but the heart, and they're going to educate your children not only academically but socially and emotionally to make sure that your kids are not only book smart but people smart, and most of all self-smart. So when they go out into the big world, that they're able to fight the monsters, that they're able to get through the ups and downs, because we know sometimes it's high tide and sometimes it's low tide. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes the sun rises, sometimes the sun sets. But the name of the game and what every mom and dad on this planet wants is for their children to be successful, especially when we're no longer on God's green earth. And that's what McAllen ISD does for students in our community, day in and day out. It puts kids in a position to reach their full potential, regardless of their circumstances, regardless of their background, regardless of their challenges, regardless of what people tell them, regardless of what people think of us. Our kids have grit, they have resiliency, they have a never say die spirit. They will outwork you and outthink you, and they will produce the results to prove that McAllen ISD is a force to be reckoned with. And it's because of the teachers in this room. There's no other way to make it happen. Great schools have great teachers. And everybody in this room, just know that we're proud of you. And I can't wait to name the elementary and the secondary so we can get on with the regional competition and get on with the state competition and go tell our story. And I'll close with the words of Marie Curie, who was a French physicist. And she, in the early 1900s, was really big on developing radioactivity and cures for cancer. But when I read this quote from her, I've been thinking about it for years. She said, "Nothing in this world is to be feared. It is to be understood. And now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less." She said, "Nothing in this world is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand so that we may fear less." And I want you to know that that's what we do for our students. We put them in a position to understand. We put them in a position to reach their full potential. We put them in a position to know that they can compete with anybody, anywhere. And they do that in a manner that comes across as fearless because they understand the intricacies of what life is. And that's very special. And I'm so blessed to be a part of it. Thank you all very much and enjoy.
Well, you heard Dr. Gonzalez make reference to the fact that the Teacher of the Year for the district, possibly the region and the state, is sitting right here in this room. And one thing is for sure, you're going to have a lifetime of memories. So here to share some perspective on how the year in front of you might go, we have last year's winners, our 2022 District Teachers of the Year. And we'll start with our Elementary Teacher of the Year from 2022. She's from Fields Elementary, Celeste Lopez.
Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to ask a quick favor before I start speaking, if we could take a quick selfie or a picture together, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I am in the midst of great, fantastic teachers, so hold on. All right. I had to do this, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, as I said, thank you so much, McAllen ISD, for this honor, this opportunity to represent this great district for the 2022 school year. Earning this title has truly been surreal. After 22 years in education, 18 years in the classroom as a middle school ELA teacher, and now 4 years as an elementary librarian at Victor Fields, has been the best. And in retrospect, it has been a memorable 22 years filled with a lot of highs and some lows, but I wouldn't change a single thing. When I walked on this stage last year, it literally felt like my life was flashing before me, but my educational journey was flashing before me. I remember faces of students I've had through the years. I remembered poignant moments consoling students, the fun group projects, the laughter, redirecting behavior, and of course those electric aha moments that you live for, when I see that light shine in their eyes and they had that sudden epiphany and things finally clicked. Those are the golden moments that I carry with me that bring me joy. And these are the experiences that we as educators share that no other profession can offer. The opportunity to make lasting impacts on the lives of young people. Although I may not know every single one of you at a personal level, I still feel this connection, this kindredness with each and every one of you in this room, because our stories are one and the same. We're connected in a tapestry of service to uplift, to inspire all of the kiddos that cross our paths. I commend every single one of you in here because you are that special teacher. You give every single ounce of your being with thoughtful planning, prepping, sometimes even spending your own money in hopes that your students' lives will forever be changed with the experiences and opportunities you are trying to make happen. And this is your mindset. It's a mindset of excellence that you carry with you, and not just with the students in your class that know and love you, but with every single student that you encounter in the halls, at school duty, as was mentioned, the extracurricular clubs you sponsor, the community outreaches you conduct, and the relationships that you build with parents too. You are that special teacher. You have an acute awareness that every interaction and every word matters, even when you feel weary and you're not on your A game. Now, all your efforts cannot be accomplished during your contract hours, and the time constraints, they don't stop you. You do it all. You go the extra mile without the slightest hesitation. It's innate, it's admirable, and it's why you're being honored here today. You are that special teacher. You provide invaluable life lessons today and hope for tomorrow. So congratulations, teachers, on earning your well-deserved title of Teacher of the Year from your respective campuses. It is so well-deserved. So enjoy the moment of recognition, and again, congratulations, and don't forget to eat the cake. I didn't eat the cake last year, I was so nervous. So eat the cake, and congratulations. Well done, guys.
And now our 2022 District Secondary Teacher of the Year from the Instruction and Guidance Center, Lydia Ann Martinez.
Good afternoon. It is a great honor to be here with the best teachers, administrators, and staff that belong to the best district, a district that is second to none, that is breaking barriers by going the extra mile to reach all students. I still remember that moment when I won Campus Teacher of the Year, better yet, when I won District Teacher of the Year. Yes, I was crying. And when I received my very first standing ovation, it was beautiful, and I still can't believe it today. 13 years ago, I walked into my first classroom ready to impact students' lives like many teachers had done to me. Today, I walked in here ready to be impacted by the amazing stories of this year's Campus Teachers of the Year. Teachers who have impacted a diversity of students' lives of all types of backgrounds. I had the privilege, along with the team, to read the essays that were submitted by the teachers. As I read your stories, I was able to see how you have gone the extra mile to close our students' academic and emotional gaps by bringing your classroom to life and by adding real-world experiences that will transcend the classroom. Now, do you remember what route you took to become a teacher, an administrator, or a board member? Do you remember what motivated you to do what you are doing today? Well, many of you have heard my childhood story, and since I only have 3 minutes, I will say it in 2 words: rough and successful. I had to jump many hurdles to be here today. My goal in college was not to become a teacher, but a doctor. But due to life's challenges, I started subbing, and that is when I was convinced I wanted to become a teacher. I might not be opening hearts in a surgery room, but I am touching hearts, teaching minds, and transforming lives in my classroom like many of you today. This last year, I promised to tell my story and advocate for all students. I believe my goal was accomplished. I had the privilege to speak in many district events and even at a state convention. Today, we will have a new district teacher of the year, but I must tell you and remind you to enjoy your moment, celebrate it, and like my older brother said, hey, it's a big deal, it's McAllen ISD, man. So teachers, tell your stories and keep changing lives in McAllen ISD. Teachers, you are world changers, history makers. God has given you the power to make or break students. So keep doing what you are doing and never stop learning and believing that our students' DNA does not define them. Finally, teachers, never forget what got you here today. I pray that this coming year may be memorable and the best year for you. May God bless you. Thank you.
Oh, and I did want to take a moment to recognize another one of our school board members. Our Vice President, Miss Debbie Crane Aliseda, is here. And also, I'd be remiss not to recognize our Teacher of the Year Selection Committee. We brought them in and locked the door, wouldn't let them leave until they made a selection. And so I know some of them are here. If they're here, could you please stand up if you're on the selection committee? And could we give them a round of applause? Thank you. And now we're ready to begin. We're going to be going with elementary first. They'll go in alphabetical order. And Dr. De Hoyos will be reading those bios. So if we could have 3 of our board members come up to the stage along with Dr. Gonzalez. And we'll be posing for pictures. And teachers, as you hear your name called, or actually right before that, we'll try to bring you up so we can make it move along as quickly as possible. But you will be over here to the left. Behind the screen is where the steps are located. So you come to this side, which is actually your right, and then come up the steps, and you'll be given a pin by a board member. You'll be given a plaque by the board, and you'll be right up here, and you stay for a nice photograph. And then when you exit, you'll exit to the left side. So really, the only person who has to pay attention to that is the first one, right? Everyone else is just going to follow. So I hope that person was listening. Okay, we'll start with Dr. Rosaba De Hoyos, and she'll be followed with the secondary reads by Miss Bridget V.
Hello. From Alvarez Elementary, our teacher of the year is Ricardo Morales. He teaches 4th grade and has spent 10 years in the classroom. He is passionate about cultivating success and inspiring the next generation of leaders through education. He empowers his students to make meaningful connections in their local community through project-based learning and the IB program. His dedication to education has driven him to strive for equal access to support students in achieving their highest potential. Ricardo Morales. Castañeda Elementary is proud to present Rocio Torres to represent its campus. She is a 4th grade teacher with 10 years of classroom experience, currently serving as grade level chair. As student council sponsor, she takes pride in helping students find their voices and make a difference by working with them to create an inclusive and inspiring learning environment. She strives to create a classroom culture where every student feels seen, heard, and valued. Ms. Rocio Torres. From Escandon Elementary, we now honor Michelle Canchola, highly respected by her colleagues and students alike. She is a 21-year veteran at McAllen ISD. Currently, she serves as the lead campus representative and grade level chair for 5th grade. She is passionate about helping students reach their full potential and is committed to providing them with the best educational experience possible. Ms. Michelle Canchola. Our top educator from Fields is Dulce Loera. She is a bilingual and biliterate third grade teacher with 8 years of experience in education. She enjoys volunteering and helping with campus and community events. She loves learning and sharing knowledge, as well as fostering a team-oriented culture. One of her core beliefs is that every child can learn. It is just a matter of finding out what works best. She likes to remind her students that practice makes progress, meaning that the more we practice, the better we get at something. Ms. Dulce Loera. Representing Garza, we have Glenda Saenz Garza. She began teaching in 2003 and came to Garza to teach third grade in 2019. She is a passionate educator who believes that children learn best when they are surrounded by a supportive environment. She believes that success is in the classroom is built through fun, learning, and cooperative groups. She's committed to supporting her students and her families in their educational journey. Ms. Glenda Saenz Garza. At this time, I would like to introduce Gonzalez Elementary, Gina Negrete. She's a second grade teacher and veteran of 14 years. She strives to create a positive learning environment where students feel safe, valued, and respected. She encourages curiosity and critical thinking through engaging activities and models empathy and love to her students in hopes that they may do the same. She takes pride in creating a safe space where students can make mistakes so that students become lifelong learners. Ms. Gina Negrete. And now let's recognize Hendrix, top teacher, Jose Diaz, a veteran of 17 years. The last 9 in Hendrix. Coach Diaz teaches physical education. He takes pride in having implemented Hendrix annual turkey trot event, which includes students and parents. Through donations, the event has supported the school's physical education program while providing the opportunity for families to exercise together. Mr. Jose Diaz. From Houston Elementary, we now honor Monica Cerrato. She is a first grade bilingual teacher with 20 years of experience in the classroom and the team manager of Sam Houston Elementary Destination Imagination team. She acknowledges the subjects such as reading, science, and social studies can be difficult for her migrant students to understand, but she looks forward to teaching math as she is able to give the confidence by saying, "Los números representan las mismas cantidades en cualquier idioma. Numbers represent the same quantity in any language." Ms. Monica Cerrato. Jackson Elementary's Teacher of the Year is America Magnon. Currently a first grade dual language teacher, she has guided young minds for 21 years. She believes that creating a safe and supportive learning environment is essential for student success and strives to ensure that her students feel comfortable and supported. In 2015, she had the honor of being a TABE presenter, introducing her book, Jugando Aprendo a Leer, which highlights strategies that help develop reading in Spanish. Mrs. America Magnon. From McAllen Elementary, we now honor Patricia Ansaldúa. At the young age of 11, she knew becoming an educator was her calling. Once in high school, she joined an education practicum class which allowed her to be an intern at Perez Elementary and Morris Middle School. Today, she has 5 years of teaching experience, which she has dedicated to McAuliffe students as a 5th grade dual language teacher. Ms. Patricia Ansaldúa. At this time, we recognize Violeta Amaro from Milam. She is a 4th grade teacher with 5 years of teaching experience, holding the belief that it is of our utmost importance of motivating her students to be the best version of themselves in the world we live in today. She exposes her students to stories that teach them about perseverance, resilience, and how even the smallest can be mighty. Mrs. Violeta Amaro. From Perez Elementary, we now honor Jessica Garza. She has been an early childhood special education teacher for 8 years, 6 of which have been at Perez. She is a dedicated special education teacher who believes in the power of transparency, communication, and family engagement to help her students grow. As an advocate for her students, she works hard to build strong relationships between her students, their families, and herself. She is committed to breaking down barriers that may exist in the classroom and creating an environment where her students can thrive. Jessica Garza. Our next teacher is from Rayburn Elementary, Leslie Longoria. She is a 4th grade bilingual education teacher with 4 years of experience. She believes that it is important for students to make connections between what they are learning in the classroom and the real world, regularly encouraging her students to go beyond the classroom walls and explore the world around them. She strives to ensure that her lesson plans are creative and thought-provoking in hopes that it will have a positive impact on her students' learning and success. Ms. Leslie Longoria. Now we would like to present Roosevelt Elementary Maribel Flores, a veteran of 19 years, 5 of which have been at Roosevelt. As an IB teacher, she tries to encourage her students to make connections from text to world and self, to help them grow not only intellectually but as members of society. In teaching lessons on friendship and encouraging students to find commonalities in their experiences, she states, "One of my goals as a teacher is to instill lifelong lessons while making beautiful memories as we learn." Maribel Flores. From Sanchez Elementary, we have Carmen Boyd Jackson. She is a dedicated and dependable educator with 26 years of experience in teaching students the value and importance of an education. She encourages her students to grow and take part in hands-on activities to incorporate what they learn in real-life situations, and creates these lessons with the love of her students in mind. She expresses, "I want the students to be accountable in their learning and to feel empowered and successful when they have discovered something new in the library." Carmen Boyd Jackson. Now let's recognize Seguin Elementary's Corina Reina. She is an active member of the Lone Star State Counselor Association and special education teacher of 6 years, all of which have been dedicated to Seguin Elementary. Passionate in providing students with disabilities the education and support they need to succeed. She is constantly seeking ways to expand her knowledge and improve her practices by staying up to date with the latest research, technology, and best practices in education. She professes, "It is my goal to instill a sense of confidence and self-worth in my students that will stay with them for years to come." Corina Reina. Next, from Zavala, we have Rolando Fuentes, a current literacy interventionist. Mr. Fuentes has taught for 22 years. He places value in encouraging his students to ask questions and to not be afraid to ask for help, often working with small groups to facilitate learning and provide additional assistance to those who in need. Being an enthusiastic educator and the organizer behind the Zavala Raíces de Oro Folclórico group, he takes pride in making learning enjoyable for his students. Rolando Fuentes. And now we present Wilson Elementary's top teacher, Ms. Ellen Simon. She is a veteran music teacher of 8 years with a master's in music education from Boston University. She takes pride in encouraging her students to do things they don't think are possible, such as reading music, singing publicly, and expressing themselves through music. As a music educator, her goal is to foster an environment that creates lifelong learners. She states, "This lifelong learning does not just apply to music. However, it applies to overcoming challenges and creating a drive and hunger for discovery." Ms. Ellen Simon.
Thank you, Dr. De Hoyos, and we will now continue with secondary Teachers of the Years, and we will begin with Brown. Our teacher from Brown Middle School is Patricia Moss. She teaches in the Regional Day School Program of the Deaf. She earned her bachelor's degree from UTRGV and a master's in deafness concentration from Texas Tech. She began teaching at Brown in 2014 and became a department head in 2019. She loves working with kids and has sponsored National Junior Honor Society, robotics, Science Olympiad, and UIL Science. She finds it very rewarding, for example, to sponsor her Science Olympiad students. Last year was Brown's first year to have a team. Her kids collaborated and problem solved while making real world applications. Patricia Moss. From Cathy Middle School, we recognize Miss Yesenia Cuellar. Ms. Cuellar began teaching in 2004 and came to Travis in McAllen ISD in 2018. She joined the Cathy family in 2021, where she has implemented an after-school skills program to help students who struggle in science. She has earned a grant through the McAllen Education Foundation and has served as a state science fair student mentor. Ms. Cuellar, as you can see, was unable to attend today. Accepting on her behalf is Cathy Principal, Mr. Miguel Herrera. Representing De Leon Middle School, we have Laura Escamilla. She has 19 years experience teaching reading language arts. Her service as a UIL coach includes ready writing, listening skills, modem oratory, and prose plus dictionary skills. She's also sponsored an arts and craft club and served as a teacher mentor. She strongly believes students will perform better when they see how much you care. One of her favorite lessons is the All About Me journal, in which students answer questions about themselves and decorate their journals with images that represent their persona. This is her 4th Campus Teacher of the Year award. In fact, she was a state semi-finalist in the HEB Excellence in Education Award in 2012. Laura Escamilla. Fossum Middle School's top teacher is Evila Lin. She teaches reading language arts in both English and Spanish to 6th graders. She has been active in Fossum's dual language program by participating in a camp at Rice University and organizing a dual language sensational camp for incoming Fossum students. She is also the school's UIL coordinator. She likes to provide her students with interesting but challenging content. One of her favorite lessons comes during Hispanic Heritage Month, when students learn about famous people who have influenced the world. Students getting to know themselves and not take for granted is the goal. She says it is beautiful to hear them speak in Spanish while they share their own experience. Evila Lin. From Morris Middle School, we honor Dorina Kingston. Miss Kingston loves music. She believes she does more just show students how to play instruments or read notes. She teaches them to appreciate being able to read in a whole other language, the language of music. She says that all students, regardless of background or learning ability, can learn and relate to music in some way, shape, or form. She graduated cum laude from Texas A&M Kingsville in 1994. She has previously taught in Roma and La Jolla before coming to McAllen ISD in 2016. Her personal goal is to continue teaching students life skills and work ethics through music. Dorina Kingston. From Travis Middle School, we have Carla Davila. Ms. Davila teaches English and language arts. She is big on collaborative teamwork and adores poetry. One of her favorite lessons centers on a poem by Edgar Allan Poe called Annabel Lee. She divides her kids into 6 groups. Each station is assigned a different task, including figurative language, real-world connections, inference skills, and others. Each promotes independent and critical learning skills. This becomes perfect opportunity for students to share ideas and observations. She earned her bachelor's degree in English from UT Pan American and her master's in teacher leadership from UTRGV. She came to Travis in 2018 and has taught students with dyslexia and has also served students that are learning a second language in English. Carla Davila. From Achieve Early College High School, we honor Catherine Villarreal West. A veteran of 8 years, she teaches English language arts and reading. She has served as a UIL sponsor for prose, poetry, and ready writing. She began her career at Cathy, where she also coached swimming and tennis. One of her favorite lessons involved a character study in nonfiction in which students listened to a story unfold through a series of podcasts. It has a murder mystery, and the students had to track evidence and craft opening statements for both sides. It is a type of immersion that is effective with struggling readers. It was an innovative and refreshing way to create a positive learning experience for her students. Catherine Villarreal West. The Instruction Guidance Center's top teacher is Travis Barrera. A veteran of 10 years of teaching, as you can see, he's not here, and his principal will be in his place. Mr. Barrera served as an art and physical education teacher at the ING. He also serves as the head credit recovery administrator. His goal each day is to connect students to lifelong learning. He has an interesting background, having performed missionary work in Dallas, Mississippi, and on the island of Grenada in the Caribbean. Mr. Barrera was unable to be here today. Accepting on Mr. Barrera's behalf is ING Principal Mr. Fernando Gutierrez. Our Teacher of the Year from Lamar Academy is Jose Luis Gomez. As a science teacher, he has always seen his role as instilling a sense of empowerment in his students and finds ways to make them curious about biology. The teacher, he says, must find innovative ways for students to engage, allowing learning to take a natural course. His techniques in which students must collect data and defend their conclusion mirrors the process one finds with research groups at the college graduate level. He has earned both his bachelor's and master's degree from UTRGV. He is a Lamar's Science Olympiad head coach, which has competed at the state level. He has also sponsored the Environmental Club and Student Council. Jose Luis Gomez. From McAllen High School, we have Rita Romero. She has spent 14 years guiding students with special needs. One lesson that is close to her heart involves one on social justice. It teaches students the value of empathy and self-awareness while asking how they would solve the problems in a manner which spreads love, not hate. Ms. Romero has served in a self-contained special needs classroom since 2019. For 4 years prior, she was a homebound Braille instructor working with visually impaired students. Despite the challenges her students face, her goal is always the same: to build meaningful relationships and nurturing environment for her students. Rita Romero. Moving toward Memorial High School, we now honor Coach Celso Gonzalez. He has taught in McAllen ISD his entire 37-year career. He spent 3 years in Travis before coming to Memorial in 1989. Over the past 34 years, his classroom has been out on the links, that is, the golf course. 7 times he has coached golfers who advanced to the state round. Coach Gonzalez also always loved sports. He has presented to fellow coaches at the state level, served as a basketball referee for decades, and anyone attending varsity football games here in McAllen during the past 25 years has heard his voice through the public address system.
Yeah.
He was once asked why he has stayed in the game so long. He responded that there are moments when our students teach us when we're reminded of why we entered the profession. Perseverance, he said. That is what defines him as a teacher. Celso Gonzalez. From Nicky Rowe High School, we now recognize Carlos Aguirre. Mr. Aguirre knows math, be it algebra, geometry, or calculus. The idea in getting students to grasp these concepts, he says, is to get them to latch onto the meaning and application. Students like to ask, when will we ever use this? Mr. Aguirre uses a personal example. He's a marathon runner. In fact, he has run marathons in places like Chicago, New York, Berlin, Germany. A key to success for marathon running is making sure they maintain an average pace per mile. That's where the math helps, he tells his students. He earned his bachelor's and master's degree from UT-RGV and loves to learn. He can speak English, Spanish, French, and Italian. An all-American musician in high school, he is now a member of the Texas State Wind Symphony. Carlos Aguirre.
Oh, wow.
During this ceremony each year, we also like to recognize our technology Teachers of the Year, one for elementary and one for secondary. So here to announce those winners and recognize them is Miss Ann Vega, our Director of Library Services.
Thank you. So when we look at our Technology Teachers of the Year, we ask our principals to submit names, and we look at how present these people are. Do they turn their technology around the campus? Do they share with others? Do they share with people across the state, that type of thing? So our Elementary Technology Teacher of the Year is Tanya Gonzalez. If you would give her a hand, she is from Fields Elementary. Sorry, I didn't get their bios. Our secondary technology teacher of the year is Andrew Thompson. He comes to us from Memorial High School with 11 years of experience.
Well, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Here to announce our District Elementary Teacher of the Year for 2023 is Dr. Rosalba de Hoyos, and then with the announcement for the 2023 District Secondary Teacher of the Year for McAllen ISD will be Miss Bridget V.
Okay, I'm gonna take my time on this one. So this, do we wait?
No, you're good.
We're good.
Ready to rock more?
Are we ready more? No. This educator has always strived to make sure students understood their culture, background, and the little things that make them who they are. A hallmark of this person's classroom is the celebration of everyone's uniqueness. It is an attitude that had to be learned. When she was of elementary age, she was embarrassed that her mother did not speak English. She knew her dad was involved in activities that sometimes got him to face consequences. After her father passed, her mother explained that her father's deep involvement in farm labor issues in California. In fact, he was once placed in the back of the same police car as another advocate of justice and fairness, Cesar Chavez. From that day forward, she viewed her parents in a new light. She shares this story with her students each year so they can understand that their culture is one to be embraced and celebrated. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2023 McAllen ISD District Elementary Teacher of the Year is from Castañeda Elementary, Ms. Rocio Torres.
My name is Rocio Torres, and I've been a teacher for 10 years total. This is my 4th year at McAllen ISD. I take my job very serious, and my philosophy is that every child, no matter what background, no matter where they come from, it doesn't matter who the child is. Every child deserves the highest quality of education that they can possibly get. And it is the responsibility of the teacher to ensure that that form of education is offered to that child. I believe that they all should be held to high standards, regardless of their background, regardless of what they've done in the past, what you've heard about them in the past. It doesn't matter. Once they step foot in my classroom, I know that every child that's in here will receive the best quality education that I can possibly give them. I love working at McAllen ISD because I feel like McAllen ISD aligns with my philosophy of teaching. Working in other districts just made me realize that I wanted to work for a district that held students to high standards. That's something that I really love about this community. It's all about family. It's all about working together and working as a whole, you know, to accomplish the goals for our students. So I really love that about McAllen ISD.
I stand humbly before you. I would never have dreamed of this. You know, as soon as I told my husband that I was Teacher of the Year for my campus, he said, "What's next?" And I'm like, "I'm done, I'm done." And he said, "What's next?" And he said, "You're gonna get it. Whatever comes next, you're gonna get it." He sees me, he sees how much I work at home, at night, on the weekends. All of you here, I'm sure you do the same. We're all the same in here. And I just want to thank you for being the amazing teachers that you are. You know, we do make a lot of positive changes in students' lives, but we have to remember that we can also be that negative experience that they remember forever. I will never forget my 4th grade teacher because of the negative impact that she had on me. Not anybody from McAllen, thankfully. but be the teacher that they're going to remember in a positive way. And I'm sure you're doing that now because you're sitting here, you know, with such other great educators. I also want to thank all the leadership principals. You make the hard decisions. You take backlash from everyone, parents, students, teachers, you know, board members. And you're the ones that make our jobs possible. And so thank you for all the hard decisions, board members, directors, everybody that's here. Thank you so much for making our jobs easier. One more thing, I just love McAllen ISD so much. My first year, I was here in McAllen, and then I circled around Texas and other few districts, and I couldn't wait to come back. So much that I made my husband work for the district too. He's at McAllen. So he don't want to move us anymore. And I have 6 kids, 3 at Nicky Rowe. Let's see, where are the other ones? 2 at Folsom, 1 at Castañeda, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So thank you guys. Thank you so much.
And now we'll proceed with the District Secondary Teacher of the Year. This educator loves working with students, also has guided many students who have sometimes been afraid to try new things. They don't want to be made fun of. They fear to be reminded that they're somehow different from others. This teacher found a way to connect. This teacher found a way for them to understand they're just like everyone else and, like everyone else, capable of doing great things. A graphic novel assignment helps open this door. The novel is about a young girl who uses a hearing aid. She feels frustrated and depressed because she is perceived as different. All she really wants is acceptance and friendship. It is a social emotional journey that helps her children embrace a major part of their identity. In her essay, she wrote, "As a teacher that believes in empowering her students, there is nothing more I can ask for." Ladies and gentlemen, our 2023 McAllen ISD District Secondary Teacher of the Year is from Brown Middle School, Patricia Moss.
To be a teacher once I went to college and took some sign language classes. I really wanted to work with the deaf community, and McAllen ISD has a regional day school program for the deaf here. So I was able to do that by working here. It gave me the ability to advocate for the students here and be able to teach them. I've been working as a Science Olympiad coach, so I did gather some of my deaf students to participate in that, and they were kind of nervous. They didn't really know what to expect. They didn't know if they were going to be successful in their competitions because they needed to do some type of building events. So they were trying to give up, but I kind of encouraged them and I told them not to just see it as something that they couldn't do. And eventually we did compete and they did place, and just seeing how happy they were was amazing. Not only do I get to work with the deaf students that live in McAllen, but McAllen ISD allows me to impact other communities too, because they're from all over the place. So it's really just amazing to be able to do that. I'm helping McAllen plus all the other communities.
I have no words. I mean, sorry. Right before this, I had actually texted my sister, I really hope I don't get this. I am a really shy person. I struggled through my interview with Julian. It was an interesting experience, but I'm just so grateful for my principal, my campus, and especially my students. They're the reason I'm here, and I'm so proud to work with the deaf community. I'm so proud to be able to advocate for them, and thank you all. This has been amazing.
How about one more hand for all our teachers in this room? You guys get it done each and every day. Thank you again, everyone, for coming. Our two district winners, if y'all could stay behind for some photographs we want to take of you. Your life's going to take off now, so yeah, it's like winning a beauty pageant, only it's even in more depth. So congratulations to everyone once again, and you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.